My name's Layla Jabbarry. I'm here today at St Matthew's Church on Boulevard with Steve Wright, and we're talking on behalf of the project Seen But Not Heard. So yes, Steve, if you want to talk to us a little bit about where you're from.
Yeah, first of all, I've got to say I'm very proud of my Hessel Road roots. I was born down Bean Street, which is still there, but a lot of the things like the school I went to is no longer there.
Oh, okay.
So I've continually, since I moved from Bean Street to the Chandlerlands Avenue area, I've always been involved with Hessel Road. Most of my family were fishermen, so another thing to the roots.
Yeah.
I began being interested in music from the age of about 5.
Okay.
Because most of my family were fishermen, as usual. And if they ever came home at the same time, they only had 3 days, they used to have parties. And I can remember like Elvis Presley and Tommy Steele being played on the radio or records, whatever. So that's really where I started from.
And were other family members musical, or was it just you?
My grandma used to play piano, but it was basically bum-ba-dum, you know, the old sing-along sort of stuff.
And when did you learn the guitar?
I think it was about 9. My auntie, who was in the army, and she bought me a guitar back, just like a Spanish guitar, 6-string. And I learnt from there, purely self-taught. I've never been much of a practicer. So, you know, I've got a really good ear.
Yeah.
But I'm not a practicer enough. I can read music, but very, very slowly.
And do you remember what sort of music you played when you were 9? What did you start off with?
It was mainly sort of like Tommy Steele, Cliff Richard and that sort of stuff. That was a tiny bit later on, really. But
Yeah. And was that what you were listening to as well?
But it was just learning to play like chords and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah. And then, so can you talk to us? So which school were you at? Which school?
It was the Henry Cooper, Sir Henry Cooper, on no longer there, obviously.
Yeah, okay. And do you have any memories of growing up on Hessel Road and Bean Street?
Yeah, I mean, I moved from there when I was about 8 or 9. But yeah, I always remember going like shopping on Hessel Road, and obviously bonfire nights we used to go raiding down all the streets. I no longer do that now.
No.
It's not done.
It's not. Okay. So when did you start working as a musician? How old were you then?
I joined a band in, well, we'll call them groups then, at school when I was 14. And we basically used to do youth clubs. Not old enough really to go in pubs, so it was basically youth clubs.
Yeah.
The first taste of being in a club was when I was just short of 15 at the Antler Club on Holderness Road.
Okay.
Headon Road, sorry.
What do you remember of that?
Not a lot, great deal. I can remember standing up there and playing. It was mainly like Shadow stuff and Cliff Richard and just sort of the stuff at the time.
Yeah. When would that have been, roughly?
64.
Okay, so 60s. Yeah. And then, when did it become more of a sort of professional thing for you?
Well, it's always been sort of semi-professional, although when I was 20 I did go to London for 6 or 7 months. I played in like professional bands then. But mainly since I've been 15, 16, it's been pubs and clubs around just the area, you know, Doncaster, Sheffield, Leeds.
Do you notice a difference between playing in Hull around here and to when you went to London? Was there a different sort of atmosphere?
Yeah, well, London's got its own sort of thing, you know. I was only there for about 6 months, but it was a good experience.
Yeah, yeah, excellent. Okay, so thinking about Hessel Road, which sort of clubs do you remember most clearly working in?
Well, most of them
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, most of them are now, closed and gone, but down Edel Road alone, there was a club down nearly every street.
Mm-hmm.
When I ended up working at the D Street Club, the organisation who had the Palmer organisation, they had about 5 or 6 clubs in Hull, but 4 of them was based on Edel Road. I think there was the St Andrews Club, the Albert Club, D Street where I used to work, and the Charleston Club, all within a couple of miles of each other.
Mm-hmm.
And they always used to get full.
Right, okay. And what was the sort of difference between them? Were they all quite similar?
No, very, very similar.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, going back to the sort of 70s, when it was at its height, all the clubs in Hull used to have a bingo that was, they called it Allied Bingo, where every club used to join in. So there was one massive pot of money going into there.
How would that work?
Well, they had like their own radio system where they'd communicate with each of the clubs, and then they used to get a guy who used to pick the balls out or whatever they do.
Yeah, it's one big game.
Yeah.
Oh, nice, okay. Did you, so thinking about a night out on Hessel Road, what would that look like for you?
Well, of course, things used to start a lot earlier in them days. Mm-hmm. Everybody used to go about 7 o'clock. And sometimes you'd be queuing up to get in places at 8 o'clock. But most of the clubs did that, and everybody went out at a certain time. And of course, they closed earlier then as well.
And did you stay in one club, or did you tend to move more like a bar crawl type thing? Or?
Well, people used to stick to their own places.
Okay.
I mean, I've played in most places in all pubs and clubs.
Mm-hmm.
It's more or less the same format.
Yeah. Do any stand out to you?
Not really.
Not really. Can you describe to me what D Street Club looked like?
Actually, D Street was one of the poshest.
Right, okay.
It was upstairs, was the concert room. I mean, they had snooker and like a bar downstairs,
Mm-hmm.
but the actual concert room was very plush. Seating was, I can't explain the seating, but it wasn't just tables and chairs, they had seating at the side in, like, I can't explain what it is.
Like kind of booths type thing?
Yeah,
okay.
sort of both.
Yeah. And what was it, what was on the walls and things, what did it look like? Can you remember?
Just very plain. Very little on the walls.
And a dance floor?
A very small dance floor, yeah. Like I say, they used to virtually pack the table up to the stage at one point.
Oh, okay.
And then, it got further and further back, so people had a bit of room to dance.
Did people dance? Was that part of the...
Yeah, at the end of the night when they'd had a few.
What were the drink? What were you people drinking? What were you drinking? What were...
Well, of course, lager was quite popular in the sort of like 60s and 70s, so most of the guys used to drink lager.
Mm-hmm.
I suppose each to their own, really. People used to drink various things.
Mm-hmm. Mixture.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. And when I was talking to a lot of the fishermen about going out on Hessel Road, they talked a lot about the clothes as well that they used to wear. Was that something that was important to you, or?
I've never been much of
Not
a...
interested with that. What sort of music were you playing when you were playing at D Street and the other clubs?
Well, at D Street we used to play anything really, from dance, like dance music to 60s, 70s. Later on, of course, I joined D Street in 91.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, a lot of the clubland was phasing out there. The attendances were getting less and less and less, although D Street did have a really good attendance. But, you know, from the mid-80s onwards, clubs started to not be so cool, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, yeah. And did you play a set, or do people come and make requests?
Yeah, they used to make requests as well, but
Uh-huh.
we didn't write down what we was going to do. It was just, you know, we'd shout out, we'll do this and we'll do that.
Yeah.
And if people wanted a certain song, we'd do it.
Can you give me any examples of like the popular songs that you were playing?
But a lot of people used to come and go, can you play Brown Eyed Girl, which was like a popular song. It was one we used to do all the time.
Yeah, yeah.
And various other songs, but...
Mm-hmm. Oh, brilliant. And so how did the sort of set format of the night work? Were you playing all night, or did they stop for performers?
No, we were second spot to the bingo.
Okay. So bingo first, and then you?
Yeah, what we used to do, from 8 o'clock till 20 past 8.
Mm-hmm.
Then they'd get ready for the bingo, with the Allied bingo, which was all the clubs used to chip in, and then they used to do a house bingo. So we'd do 20 minutes, and then from bingo there used to be about 20 minutes, 25 minutes of bingo, and then we'd get the artist on. And in them days, all the Palmer clubs used to have a resident band of 3 or 4 members, and it used to be reading music. They wouldn't have anybody that had their own, like they do nowadays, back up your music, you know. So we used to take what they call the dots from the singers or wherever, and then they'd do half an hour.
Mm-hmm.
More bingo, we'd do another quarter of an hour. Then the artist would go on for another half an hour or 3/4 of an hour.
The same artist or a different one? Was
No, we used to get one every night, different one every night.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'd finish the night with the last 20, 25 minutes, let them dance or whatever they wanted to do there.
Yeah. Was there any artists that stand out that you remember?
Not really.
No, none that was sort
Not
of...
really.
No.
We did have Elvis Costello's dad.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Ross McManus. He was a really nice bloke, actually.
Mm-hmm.
But he used to do the radio programmes with a big band. Yeah, he was a real nice bloke. But that's the only one I can think of that was, you know, was important, really.
Yeah, yeah. And did you have regulars that would come? Regular performers that you'd see?
Yeah,
with
well, they used to use McLeod Holden Agency, which I think it's still there, but they don't use them a lot now.
What was that, sorry? The
McLeod Agency,
McLeod.
which was on top of Esler Road,
Mm-hmm.
So they used to send artists like one every 9 months. Somebody used to come back on a rota sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So we basically used to get the same artists within a year. Then the next year we'd get the same artists again, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Which ones would repeat? Do you remember any names?
Most of them, really. I can't remember.
Can't remember names. Okay, no problem. And obviously the project is about the drag scene in drag queens that would perform.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember any of those that you might have been backing?
No, we didn't back any. Everybody that we had, they wouldn't have anybody that didn't have their own music.
Right, okay.
I'm talking sheet music, what you can read, not
so they wouldn't
not
have come
tape
with...
music or anything like that.
And they would have come normally with tape music, would they?
Yeah.
Yeah. Would they have been on the same night or not at all?
Not at all.
Okay, right. And so can you think of any personalities that you remember from back then that stand out?
I can't remember the names now. I can't remember any. It really wasn't my cup of tea. It wasn't the drag scene, but
No. I mean, like generally in the D Street or any of the other clubs.
oh right.
Any
No, not really. A lot of the bands used to come and watch us. You know, if they weren't playing, a lot of the guys used to come and watch us if they could get in. That is.
Yeah. How much did it cost? to get for entrance, or was it free?
Well, no, it was a members club, so
Oh,
I
so-
think they paid a small amount to be a member.
Mm-hmm.
But the doorman, I can't remember his name. He wouldn't let anybody in after 10 o'clock. He had a little box just before you get up the stairs, and at 10 o'clock, nobody get. I mean, I could get in anywhere in all. But I once went there to see the lads, and it was just gone 10 o'clock, and no, can't get in, no, would not let me in.
Oh, it's quite strict then.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. With the doorman, was that? Do you think the doorman? Did they need to be there to like make people feel safe and things, or was it just a?
I don't think it's a safety thing, but they just didn't want anybody that wasn't a member.
Right. Okay. And so, did people that go tend to know other people that go? Was it a real community?
Yeah. I mean, you used to get people sitting in their own seats, basically. You know,
Okay.
you'd see them sat in the things every night you went.
Yeah.
You used to have the same seats, and
Yeah. Oh, nice. And so, at the beginning, you were saying you're very proud of being Heswell Road. Yeah. Can you talk to me about what you think is special? What is special about Heswell Road?
well, it had its own community.
Ah.
I mean, before they knocked down most of Hawthorne Avenue, there was lots of families knew each other's families, some what you call like infamous or famous families from Heswell Road, and it was just like one big community, really.
Mm.
Everybody knew each other.
That's lovely. And can you remember any names of those families that stick out?
No, we used to live down Titchburn Terrace, and there was the Beasleys, which was a pretty well-known family from there.
Mm-hmm.
I still see one of my best friends, David. I still see him now. We used to know each other from being at school, you know.
Yeah. and I suppose with it being a fishing community, a lot of people work together, did they? Or
Not particularly, but just used to know each other, you know.
Yeah, nice.
They used to know everybody else's business.
Yeah. Brilliant. And thinking about the shops, are there any shops that you remember that you thought were important there?
Oh, they're quite different now.
Yeah.
I mean, there used to be a popular shop called the Clothing House.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember where it was now, but it was where the Star and Garter is,
Mm-hmm.
or Rainers as we call it. It was somewhere around about there where it was a clothing house, and they used to do what they call club checks, where you used to get a club man, and he'd give you a check, but it was like HP basically.
Oh yeah. How does that work then? What would the club man be?
Well, he used to get somebody coming round and taking the money from there. My mum used to be a collector for a club man.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
For the clothing house.
Yeah. Well, not for the clothing house, just for the guy who used to lay out all the cash.
Okay.
And the clothing house used to do club. I mean, they used to take cash as well, but they used to do club checks. And
I see.
it was quite a popular thing, you know, back in the 50s and 60s.
Yeah. Can you talk to me a little bit about your mum and dad, or your mum?
I didn't see much of my dad. He was at sea most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Mum was, well, just a basic mum. She was lovely, you know, but we used to spend most of the time at my grand's house, who lived on Springbank.
Mm-hmm.
So when my dad was away, we used to spend most of my time at my grand's.
Mm-hmm. And did you have brothers and sisters?
Not had any brothers
No.
or sisters.
No.
I've got a sister now, but she came a bit later on.
Okay. And now obviously you have the spectacle shop on Heswell Road. How did that come about?
Well, when I left London, I needed a job, so I applied for a job at Wheatcroft Opticians. And this was 1970, I think. And I got that job and I was there for about 19 years. When things got a bit tight, they brought out new rulings for the opticians so that everybody paid for their eye tests. And like nowadays, everybody over 60 gets a free eye test, but they'd stopped that. And things got a bit tight, so I was made redundant. And I had 3 or 4 months off, and then I went to work at Howard Opticians downtown. I worked there for a year and then decided it was time to open my own business. That was in 1991.
Wow.
And I've been there ever since.
And do you still play music alongside the opticians, or is?
Oh yeah.
Where do you play now? Yeah.
Just various pubs. There's not many clubs nowadays, so it's just pubs.
Hessel Road still, or all over the city?
No, there's very little down Hessel Road to play down now, but we generally play. There's probably only about 8 or 9 venues now. There used to be a lot more. But
whereabouts?
Well, we used to do the Sportsman a lot, which is now closed down. National Pub, which we're at this weekend.
Oh, nice.
I can't think of any more.
Here and there, around isn't it? Yeah. Oh, brilliant. Is there anything else you wanted to mention about Hessel Road or the nightlife that you remember?
I don't know much of the nightlife now because most of my time is spent in other places. But they still have the pubs and still have the regulars that go in the pubs. But I've been very proud to have been part of it.
Yeah, brilliant. Well, thank you so much for talking to me today.
Okay.
I'll just